Quick, if you were recruiting me for an important role within your organization and I were to ask you what's unique about your company and why I should work there rather than your competitor across town who's also recruiting me, what would you tell me? You could mention the great pay and the benefits, but chances are that that's pretty comparable with what your competitors are offering. What could you say that would inspire me? Why is this important? Today, and I actually just heard this on the radio last week or the week before, there is a tightening labor pool. We knew that. But the way it's being measured is people more and more are willing to leave the jobs that they're in confident that they're going to be able to find another one pretty quickly. Today's workers are also more insistent that the work they do have a benefit to society, something beyond the paycheck or achieving a particular lifestyle. And companies that clearly communicate how their company contributes to a better world enjoy greater levels of employee engagement. So back to the question I asked you a moment ago, what is your company's purpose? We'll explore how to answer that question in today's video. Let's get started. So let's begin and jump right in. So take a look at this next statement and see what it says to you. It's a mission statement from a company. Blank Incorporated provides its customers with quality blank products and the expertise for making informed buying decisions. We provide our products and services with a dedication to the highest degree of integrity and quality of customer satisfaction, developing long-term professional relationships with employees that develop pride, creating a stable work environment and company spirit. And so you've probably, listening to that, you go, wow, I've heard things that sound like that before. In fact, in your organization, they may even have something like that. And it does the combined, achieves both saying a whole lot of things and saying nothing at all about this company. It's just something for the wall. And actually, in this particular one is from the fictional paper company Dunder Mifflin in The Office. And I got that example from The Advantage by Pat Lencioni. The challenge with mission statements, and mission statements came out in the, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. They first came to the fore, and a lot of companies went through long retreats to come up with statements like this. But the problem is it tries to combine and say too many things about the organization at once. One of the keys to doing this well is to break apart and to realize what questions you're trying to ask, what answers you're trying to get, and then we can have multiple statements which address different parts of who we are as an organization. I like the following questions as a way to help companies work through who they are, what's most important, so that it can be communicated effectively to their workforce. So the first is, why do we exist, which gets at purpose. The second is, how do we behave, which gets at core values. What will we be, become, and be known for, which helps a company articulate its vision. How will we succeed, which points to strategy. How will our leaders lead? The essential competencies we need to exhibit. How will we implement and monitor our plan, which gets to how we're going to measure primarily. And my preferred way of moving this forward is with a balanced scorecard. And what is most important right now? What is the short-term overriding priority? So the purpose of today's video is to look at that first question, which is around our company's purpose. We're trying to answer the question, why do we exist? An organization's core purpose is completely idealistic by design. If we're going to talk to people's real aspirations, who they see themselves to be, who they want to be, the impact that they want to have on the world, we're going to have to talk in idealistic terms. Sometimes executives struggle with giving voice to this. Their BS meter goes off, and they'll say things like, well, we exist to make money. And true, and yet, let's get a couple of things clearer. That is, all organizations exist to make people's lives better. In some way, shape, or form, you provide value that people want. Their lives may be better in a small way or a large way, but somehow you've made it better for them in ways that they're willing to give you money for. Money, properly understood, isn't really your core purpose. It's what shows that you're effective, you're doing it well if you are being profitable. As you try to answer this question and the other questions that come after it, don't speak to an external audience. You're not creating marketing copy. And this is where many teams have failed to do this well. They write something that they're trying to think of all their different stakeholders and all their different constituents and to say something that works well for everyone, in which case you end up coming up with a lot of fluff and things that are so general that they're not helpful. This serves one purpose, which is to align and inspire the people within your organization, to remind them that they're doing something important day in and day out, and it's more than about just getting a paycheck. So, internal focus, not external marketing. And here are the questions that I might ask with any particular group. We don't know how long this discussion is going to go on. In my experience, this can meander as we try to answer why do we exist. We can spend 2 to 3 hours on this question alone, get it to a place where it's kind of good for now, and then need to marinate on it. Take it away, take the answers, mull over them for the next 2-3 weeks, come back again, and there's greater understanding and ability to answer this and the other questions, which is important to note right here, right now. This, to get the answers that we want to get to these questions in ways that really work for us, where everyone in the organization is saying, yes, that's us, is usually an iterative process. That is, it takes time. You do it in rounds, a little bit at a time. You get some clarity. You take it away. You socialize it a bit. You come back. You're ready to refine it just a little bit. So, not all at once. But here's some of the questions that I ask. Typically, I start with the first one. How do we contribute to a better world? The others, how do we make our lives better? Who benefits? And what benefits do they receive? When are you most proud to be part of our company? Why did the founders start the company? Why do you personally show up day in and day out? And then is our purpose rooted in creating a unique customer experience, serving a particular niche, love of this particular industry, serving a particular community, developing our employees, so forth. The last 2 times I have walked organizations through this process, this particular question has been challenging. And in some ways, the executives had a hard time letting go and embracing that they were creating something that was meant to give purpose. In some ways, they were creating a corporate myth that can capture people's imaginations. And so they ended up with very utilitarian answers to this question, such as, we exist to be the best widget maker in our particular industry, which says maybe a little something about vision, but it doesn't really answer what is it that inspires. How do we create a better world? That's some of the logic and the questions to ask in terms of determining your core purpose. In next week's video, I'll walk you through what this actually means to me, kind of give you the example of how I've used this to discover my own core purpose in ways that get me excited. So until next time, be well. I do want to give credit where credit's due. Many thanks to Pat Lencioni of the Table Group for his book, The Advantage. It has been a stellar read. It really is a gift. If you do this kind of work, if you're in organizational development and you haven't picked up a copy, do yourself a favor and grab one. There's a lot to learn. And some of the process and several of the questions. I have 7 questions. He has 6. 4 of them, I thought, wow, he asked those so well, so I use 4 of his and 3 that I think are typically more pertinent to the organizations that I work with. So, credit where credit's due. Thanks, Pat.